Howdy y'all, my name is Paul Corey and I'm interviewing Hans Peterson. So tell me about your farm, what you do here, how long you've been doing it, and what the official name of it is.
Our official name is Lakeport Highland Dexter Farm. We sell Scottish Highland and registered Irish Dexter cattle, and we've been doing it for just shy of 15 years. My wife and I both were new to farming at that time. I bought this property. It's an old apple orchard with hundreds of apple trees on it. It was all overgrown, and I bought this building here for my business initially, and then spent so much time cleaning up the property. I had a couple employees say we should get some cows and goats and so on to clean it up, and now I'm more of a farmer than anything else. So that's kind of how we ended up here.
So did your farm take advantage of any assistance by the federal government, such as the FSA programs?
No, we have not. We've done it all on our own.
So what is your opinion about the government assistance programs available to farmers and ranchers?
I'd like to see them targeted to the smaller farmers and the beginning farmers more. I think that's very difficult occupation to get started in. I think most are started with family money, or they're family farmers, and slowly but surely they're kind of slipping away, and I think that's kind of too bad, because it gets to be difficult for the small farmer to make a go at it themselves.
Now, has your business been relatively successful, or have you experienced any financial slumps since you started?
The first 5-6 years were difficult. We spent a whole lot more money than we brought in. After we finally got some of our major things in place, get our herd built up, got our equipment, got it all paid for, and so on. It's gotten a little bit easier. I don't think we could probably make a living at it doing what we do. We'd have to be larger, but it's a nice supplement to our income, and my wife and I intend to eventually retire on it and farm at a modest scale as our retirement.
Did you have to acquire a lot of equipment to get started?
Quite a bit. That was the biggest expense. The tractors, just all the various equipment for raising cattle, feeders and fencing, and there's a lot of things that you just are not aware of when you first get started, and as your operation grows, the requirements get to be pretty substantial. Now we have I have a backhoe in addition to a tractor, because we needed the backhoe for certain things. It just makes it a lot easier to get things done when you have the right equipment.
And the last question for you, Hans, have you all had any catastrophic events that hindered your farming operation here, and what are some of the weather or major events that hinder farmers here in Michigan?
The one major event we had was one time someone dumped some brush clippings over the fence thinking they were feeding our cattle. They happen to be Japanese yew clippings, and that's extremely toxic to livestock, and we lost 5 really nice cattle and 2 bulls from that experience. Today it maybe wouldn't be that big of a deal because our numbers are so large. We have a little over 150 head of cattle. But back then, when we had 20 or 25 head of cattle, that was a pretty substantial hit. There's no salvage value to that. I mean, they had to be basically buried. Weather-wise, we can get some pretty difficult weather conditions here in Michigan. The snow, we're near the Great Lakes, and we get a lot of lake effect snow, so when you have cold weather, it picks up the moisture off of the lakes, and it can dump quite a bit of snow in a pretty short amount of time here. So there's a lot of time spent dealing with weather conditions here during the winter months. Our summers are beautiful though, and so are our falls. Spring can be a little difficult sometimes with the mud when the snow melts and the frost comes out of the ground. But we have it set up where we put the cows in sacrifice areas where they have better footing and aren't waist deep in mud.
All right, well, thank you for your time for this interview, Hans. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.